When does the fetus become living?
That's actually a good question, but that line...
Yeah, of course, because you don't know it.
It's your boy, Yinka, back here again with another little video, little reaction. As I usually say, we're not going to talk too much, so let's go.
I just want to read you this poster that I have because I hear a lot of pro-lifers say that life begins at conception. So my poster reads, "Life begins when you understand living women matter more than potential babies."
What is it?
What do you mean?
If it's a potential baby, what is inside of a woman?
It's a fetus?
Is it living?
No.
How can it grow?
These people are the most funniest people. They try to distinguish between fetus and human when all fetus means is just unborn human. If you are to check up the definition of what a fetus is, that's all fetus means, unborn human. So while they think they're saying it's something different, it's really not. All a fetus is an unborn human, so it's still a human being. But hey, you can never argue with these people. They don't want to hear the truth. That's all it is. They do not want to hear the truth.
Oh, if it's not living.
Actually, that's like saying if an acorn is a tree.
When does the fetus become living?
That's actually a good question, but that line...
Yeah, of course, because you don't know it. Because it's living.
Yeah, that was true. The little star she didn't look up into the air that she did when she was asked that question. You know you don't know the answer. That's why it's a good question. It's a good question because you don't know the answer to the question. That's why it's a good question. The way she was stuttering and thinking like, oh damn, you got me with a good question. And the sad thing is, although it's very funny, the sad thing is such a basic question. She was like, that's a good question. Sad but funny at the same time how stupid these people are.
It's living.
How about you let her speak?
You're fundamentally denying science to validate your opinion.
You actively deny science, ma'am.
How am I denying? What science did I deny, Darby?
Okay, so let's look at some posters over here.
But
you don't have to be here.
I need you to tell me what science. You just made an accusation that I denied science. What science did I deny?
That it's a child inside of you. It is a clump of cells when
I'm a clump of cells. What makes me different?
That you were born. You were born.
So you don't. What you're arguing is that anything that is not born is not valuable of life.
I did not say that.
That's exactly what you said. You just said the difference between her and a baby in the womb is that she's born. So you're saying that the ones that are not born are less valuable than the ones that are born. It's simple. 1 + 1 = 2. But as I say, usually university students seem to not be able to keep up with simple logic. They can't, for some reason, they just can't keep up with logical things. I don't know what it is, but they don't seem to be able to keep up with logic. But hey, we'll see. Maybe if as we go along the video, she might get a bit smarter.
It's subjective. So when does a child or fetus or clump of cells, whatever you want to call it, when does this clump of cells or fetus become living?
When it can sustain its own life.
But when is that? When is the sustainability? No, when is sustainability?
21? About like 30 weeks to born, like 24, 30.
Because like how do you sustain life? Like my newborns aren't sustainable. You can't just have a newborn and they just like live on their own, right?
Right.
They're not sustainable. They need help and assistance to survive. So is a newborn not worthy of life? Is a newborn not worthy of life?
I do have one thing to say to you. How is it?
I love how she didn't answer the question, and you can see how confused she was. She was like, I don't know the answer. Or maybe she did know the answer and she didn't want to say it, but you can see how stumped she was when she was getting asked these questions. And as I said, it's funny, but it's also very sad that she came up here arguing so confidently, but when asked questions against her own worldview, she couldn't seem to answer them. And she had to get backup from her backup dancers in the back and not answer the question, and eventually didn't even answer the question because she knows she doesn't have an answer and she knows she's wrong.
Was it that when my mom was in college 30 years ago, she was protesting the exact same thing that me and these wonderful other women and men on this side have been protesting? How is it? Why? Why are we still protesting? Why are we still having to talk about this issue? It is a basic human right to have an abortion, to have a choice.
The reason we're still having the question is because some people don't want to accept the natural consequences of heterosexual sex and be inconvenienced by another human life and want to selfishly choose to end human life in order to have their whims met. That is why you're still arguing that.
And because they're also stupid as well. That's why they're still arguing. And yeah, that's true. They don't want to suffer the consequences of the actions that they take. That's why they're still arguing about it. They want to freely give their box to everyone left, right, and center and have no consequences for it. But anyway, that was the video for today. Again, another reaction, another video. As I usually say, like the video as much as possible. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Comment down below. Let's get a discussion going down below. I reply to all comments. And we out.